What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and we're back to begin going through Sting's solo material. Now that I've finished all the Police albums, I'm going to move through Sting's solo material, and I wanted to thank Michaela, who sent me this Best of Sting album, as well as Stephan, who sent me a Sting collection as well. So I don't know how much crossover there might be. I think Stephan sent me something like 10 or 12 tracks. I feel like there's more than that on here. Yeah, I think it's like 15 or something. So I'm assuming there's at least a few different tracks in the separate playlist. But yes, big thank you to Michaela for sending me yet another CD. Big thank you to Stephan for sharing some Sting material as well as other artists that I'm going through. So yes, ultimately the compilation seems to be called Fields of Gold, which I know is one of his songs. Indeed, it's number 3 on this compilation here. But then on the side, it just says The Best of Sting. So, yeah, ultimately, oh, does it say a year range? It does, 1984 to 1994. So, yes, The Best of Sting in the immediate decade after the Police disbanded is what it looks like. So, yeah, the first tune on the compilation is When We Dance. The name doesn't ring a bell, unlike Fields of Gold, and maybe one or two others on the back cover here. So, yes, I don't think I've heard it, or at least if I have, I do not recognize it by the title. I suppose it speaks to a moment in time, or at least a short period in time, when we dance. Now, dance might not be literal. It could be figurative, the dance between two people in a relationship, or maybe leading up to that, or a dance of emotions and personal interaction. But I would expect maybe it to function on multiple levels, meaning a visual reference to an actual time spent dancing with someone, but perhaps that also having deeper meanings and other connotations. In any case, I'll see what I can catch on a first listen, or I assume a first listen. This is Sting, the tune is When We Dance, and it's the first tune on a compilation that seems to be called both The Best of Sting 1984 to 1994 and Fields of Gold.
I
really crazy fade out. It feels like it's been fading for nearly a minute now, but at first it was the vocals and the lead melody that were getting softer and softer, and that almost like bamboo style drum rhythm, which is to say it didn't sound like a drum set like for any of the track. It felt like either hand drums or like wood drums, like a more, let's say, natural drum set. And the bass, they kept at the same level. It felt like they were still pretty loud, and it was Sting's very high and melodic vocal flourishes that were getting softer and fainter, and then finally the bass and the drums started to fade too. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's smooth, it's mellow. At first it almost sounded a bit like a reggae ballad, meaning it had a bit of that reggae rhythm, which is not unheard of when it comes to the Police catalog. Indeed, it's like one of the styles that they did in great numbers. But as it went along, it felt less like that and more just like a slow dance kind of tune. And indeed, we get reference to When We Dance, and what was the follow-up line? Like, angels run and hide or something like that. Indeed, I think there was reference to angels and heaven, so it feels like, you know, it's drawing upon the celestial and the spiritual, the transcendent, to explain his feelings about this woman and what he can offer her that is superior, as he sees it, as far as I can tell, to the guy she's actually with, her husband. So yeah, it sounds like someone who is convinced that he would be a better fit for this woman and that he would treat her and love her and take care of her and be a companion to her beyond her actual husband, who, at least as he's being depicted by the narrator, and it's fair to say, you know, it could be one of those unreliable narrator tracks where we don't really hear the other side, so, you know, it's up to the listener to determine whether this is more the conviction of the speaker and not necessarily the way the woman might see it. But yeah, it sounds like he's saying, you know, he's bought your soul, you know, he put this gold ring on your hand, and, you know, it's almost like he's trying to own you in a possessive way, and he's actually not taking you to the heights emotionally and, you know, having these loving, passionate experiences the way you could if I was your husband. So yeah, it sounds like he's just putting it all out on the table, declaring his love for this woman and arguing that he actually could show her what it really means to be a wife to someone who cares for him or cares for her. So yeah, I don't know, maybe there's a detail or two I'm missing, but it feels like he's just basically saying, like, we could really dance together and have love that is beyond what you know currently. And I do wonder, of course, you know, what the actual perception might be of this woman, but I don't think we get that. Either way, it's soothing, it's beautiful. I think Sting's vocals sound very compelling. He goes into the higher ranges here more than maybe I've heard him. I mean, I guess there have been Police tunes I've heard where he, you know, flares into the higher, like, pitch area. I mean, even on a tune like Roxanne, like when he says the name Roxanne, he goes very high. But yeah, it feels like he's exploring the more, like, elegant range of his vocal delivery. It's certainly by the end when he's doing those flourishes, even as they get quieter. As I said, I enjoyed the, like, soft, natural, like, wood drum kit sort of sound of the percussive rhythm. I enjoyed the bass, which, you know, had this groove to it. It was a relatively simple bass line, but it had a very steady pulsing groove to it, and there were some nice, like, piano or, like, keyboard runs which gave it some nice melodic accenting. So yeah, a really cool tune. I don't think I've heard that before. There was a moment right when it started, it was like, oh, like, maybe I have heard this. But the more it went on, the more I was convinced that no, this is not a tune I've heard from him before. So it'll be interesting as we go through his solo material, because as I said, like, there's at least one or two tunes, Fields of Gold being the greatest example, where I know I've heard that one, and I am fond of it, though I haven't heard it for a long time, so it'll be interesting when we get to that one. So yes, once again, looking forward to the Sting journey. Thank you again to Michaela for sharing this CD and much, much else. Thank you to Stephan for sharing Sting material as well as other artists. I'm looking forward to the rest of this journey. Let me know what you think of this opening tune, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.